What do you want me to do?
There's nothing you can do. We just kind of got started funky.
All right.
So,
Let's.
I'm still trying to figure this thing out. So I ran the countdown. I did the whole opening, and so let's try that again. I'm going to do the opening one more time. Just the disclaimer, because we have to play the disclaimer. Warning, viewer listener discretion is advised. The majority of the content of this program is not fact checked. It is highly advised that it not be used for teaching your children from said content, other than making an example out of the hosts of what they should not grow up to be. Remember this, it's the beer talking.
Welcome to the truth about beer.
And we're back.
How you guys doing?
Oh, this is so funny.
It's a lot of fun.
It's cracking.
It's a lot
big
of fun.
time because
it's a haunted house, so
well, it is, and
nothing ever goes perfect to plan.
Yeah, we start an hour and a half early, make sure everything's set up and working, and we need a bigger green screen, I guess.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
But we are in a cockpit.
Here they come.
Yeah, no, yeah. I got to say hi to everybody again because we weren't live when I was saying hi to everybody. So, hello, Super Horror Show. So we got Papa Bones and Supernatural Sammy with Roger sitting back watching us on the big screen tonight, and Christine's here, and Ghost Squad from Scotland. There's Christopher.
Awesome. What is it?
Bald and Bonkers.
9-10 hour difference, isn't it?
It's
yeah,
quite a few.
Welcome,
I think
guys.
it was like
Thanks
2
for
o'clock.
joining us.
2 o'clock in the morning, or something like that. Was it, Chris?
It's awesome.
And then Christine. Welcome, Christine. She's such a trooper.
Hi, Christine.
She shares our stuff all the time, and she's so. Yeah,
Hold on.
turn that volume down. Let's see. Where else did we get to? And Amy. Hello, Amy H. And Dan. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
And Sandy D. She's always on Super Horror Show stuff. So it's good to see her. That's awesome. Chuck, welcome aboard. And Lisa. I think I know her. Just a little bit. So, yeah, you make sure everything's working.
I got to turn on the packs.
I am. So anyway, how do we? Well, I'll introduce what we're doing tonight.
All right.
I mean, our flyer and everything, or the thumbnail, kind of explained it. We've been advertising it all week. But back, at least 2 years ago or more, what was before the pandemic? So
yeah, 20.
Was it in 20?
21? I don't know. It's
towards the anyway. We had Tim come on as a guest to share his experience.
Hi, Sandy.
As lead flight attendant on America West Flight 465.
564.
Or, whatever
One of
it
those
takes.
numbers, yeah.
Whatever it takes. And so we recorded it, and I remember sitting there listening to Tim the whole time, and it was like, this is crazy stuff. And
it got emotional, man. It brought back so many feelings and memories, and I just that's the most emotional I've been since it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that show.
No, it was a lot of fun, and
yeah, it was.
I learned a lot from you about different things that are out there that I didn't realize. And
are you a believer now?
I'm a believer.
Yeah,
I'm seeing our other logo in the bottom there, and I don't see it on here. That's kind of odd, but that doesn't matter. So anyway, I've always thought that it would be really fun to have Tim do this live to talk about his experience, so that you folks can, ask questions.
Yes, because
about it.
I've invited a lot of my America West friends to join us tonight. And I hope you do. And if you can't tonight, then I hope you see this later. And feel free to email me or message me if you have any questions. But a lot of you guys know about this and never heard the real story. So it's going to be a privilege to give you all of the facts about the whole story, because I know you've heard lots of rumors and lots of different versions. So
Yeah, if we can, I'm going to try to pull up, if we can get your screen to share.
yeah.
Though I'd like to do the Google search, because if you do a Google search on on Flight 564, you'll see a lot of stuff pop up where they try to discount it, and what they say is it was celestial bodies, whatever that means, that you were witnessing on the plane.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the transcripts of what was going on from, the
Ground control,
NORAD,
Bigfoot.
yeah, all those, then you know that there was a lot more going on than celestial bodies,
Right.
which I guess that would be stars and whatnot, right? Or
They thought
the
we were
Aurora
looking,
Borealis or something.
they thought we were looking at a Chinese spy balloon. They thought we were looking at weather balloons.
Gosh, we learned about those this week.
Yeah, we did. And I know they're nothing near what we witnessed. So it's good that came out, because now we know the difference.
I'm going to try something here again real quick. See if I can pair my phone.
Yeah, you got to see the story before we get started. Let me see if I can fix this. Bear with us here. We're
having so much fun.
We're at altitude, so I've turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You guys are free to get up and move around the cabin. Just remember, while you're still in your seats, please keep your fasten seatbelt, because we could experience an unexpected turbulence.
Oh, we've had a lot of that already tonight. I cannot get it to pair, dude.
Aw.
I don't get it.
We're backstage. What does that mean?
You're backstage. Yeah, no, I've got control of who's where.
All right.
But, all right, we'll figure this out, because I want everybody to hear that on this show. I mean, you can go back and watch episode 202.
202.
And get all those transcripts. But for some reason, I cannot get my phone to pair with this. And
We're all caught up here.
so we're doing good.
So what can I do over here?
Well, first of all, we're going to drink some other beer.
All right.
So get rid of the Budweiser, because I'm going to show a little video of the beer we're going to do tonight. So as many of you know, Tim and I, what happened to the chats up there?
It's a haunted house.
I guess so. All of a sudden the chats disappeared.
Oh, my.
Are you? Oh, I know what it is. I'm never mind. Ignore me. I got the chats right here.
All right.
I can see them. You have to be on the show to see the chats. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
the beer.
So yeah. So on our move here, Tim was really nice to fly back to Phoenix, and we rented a big U-Haul. Tim drove the U-Haul, and Lisa drove the truck, and I drove the RV, and we'd had a nice little caravan.
Right.
And so, Texas is huge. So we spent the night in
Albuquerque or New Mexico or El
no,
Paso?
here we go. No, you used to live there, didn't you? Midland.
Odessa.
Midland.
Midland.
We stayed in.
I lived in Odessa.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
we
but
stayed
close
we
to
stayed in
Midland.
Did
right?
we stay in Midland?
Yeah, we stayed in Midland, and we went to that that bar that was across from the hotel called Fair to Midland. Do you recall that?
I don't.
Well, I'll show you a video, and you might remember.
You have to show me pictures.
So I tried this beer, but Tim didn't. So anyway, I am going to bring this up. go full
Round
screen.
2, I'm going for the Revolver Blood and Honey, which is it's a Texas beer. It's a
Why can't you do my show? Why can't you do my
it's
show?
an American pale
We're gonna try to
wheat
get to
ale,
You will?
and
You can do it from there?
7%
I got it.
ABV,
So don't drink it yet.
I want.
and it's a beautiful color as well.
Are you going to be able to play that?
I'm hoping we can get your screen to share.
What do you want me to do?
It has a very interesting aroma.
Go back to
I can't place it, so I'll have to taste it.
back to 202. Can you toggle between the two? Because that's the only way it's going to work. You have to be able to toggle between.
Oh, damn. That is good. I don't know that I've had anything like it. Honest. Very, very smooth, semi-bitter finish to it, but what is that taste? At a really cool little pub bar. Well, it's not really too small, but it's kind of cool. It's Fair and Midland, and so what they got a bar with all kinds of draft. Let's see if I can flip this. It's not letting me flip it. So I'll have to do a selfie. Got the bar, it's a sports bar, you know, good stuff. Say hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
And then over here, this cute little spot right there is Fair Food. So that's where they get Fair to Midland. So it's a bar you can come in, get your drinks and watch some sports and have Fair Food. It's kind of cool. And this is Papa Joey in Midland, Texas.
And now I'll unmute us. Mike let us know that they could hear us during that, which is really strange.
That's fine.
Because we tried to do that when we showed the last video and we couldn't talk over it. So I don't know why.
Do it in a year. We're going to be awesome.
It's going to get better and better. So anyway, this is Revolver Brewing out of Midland, Texas. Or no, they're not in Midland, Texas. Never mind. That's where we tried it, was in Midland,
Oh, that's
Texas.
right. That's where we had it.
Yeah, they're in Granbury.
Berry.
Yeah.
I'm just remembering
Yeah,
small parts
Granbury,
of this.
Texas. And so it's kind of it's a Hefeweizen, but it's
It's called Blood and Honey
yeah, so it's made with blood, orange,
and honey.
and honey plus some spices. And it's and have you tried it yet? I mean, I've
tried it with. We tried it in Midland.
I didn't think you drank it with me. I thought you were drinking your Budweiser.
I sampled it.
Ah,
The
okay.
lady there gave me a sample.
Gosh, it is so good.
Yeah, it is good. It's sweet. It's bitter. It's
Makes you go through all the emotions.
yeah. It's got the barky taste. It's got everything in it. It's really good.
Yeah, so spices that remind me of the Atomic Pumpkin, which is one of my favorite pumpkin beers. So anyway, that's what we're enjoying this evening. We are really going to try to see if we can get that audio over. So, okay, so we got your screen. So now if you go over, then you hit share screen.
Where's that?
Just want to see if I see your screen, because all I keep seeing is your face
I'm sorry.
on here. That's all right. I can see you right here too. I want to go over to that that feed. So you're On the show, you got to go back to StreamYard.
I don't have StreamYard. How do I get back to StreamYard?
You got to be on the same.
All right. StreamYard. I'm on StreamYard. Let's present.
Okay, so now there you see settings. Right there, share screen. YouTube.
There it is.
Share. Okay. Now, cue it up to right before it goes to the. After all that.
This is going to be good. If you guys haven't seen this, well, they had several shows like A&E and Sightings and let's see here. I can't remember all the name of the shows back then, but they had my episode on all of these different shows, and there were different reenactments of the flight because they never contacted the crew. So they never really got it quite right. So
I'm going to get ready here.
All right, you guys get ready. You're going to like this.
Anybody else knows about it? Albuquerque, Santa America 1359 at 310, we get light shop. American 1359, Albuquerque Center rounded up more than a very occasional light shop in that area. Hey. 564, you pay that object at all? Cactus 564, no I don't. Talking to the 3 or 4 guys around here, no one knows what that is. I've never heard about that. But nobody's paying it at all? Okay, Cactus 564, say again. There's nothing on the radars on the other centers at all on that particular area, that object that's up in the air? It's up in the air? Affirmative. No, no one knows anything about it. What's the altitude about? I don't know, probably right around 30,000 or so, and it's drill that starts going counterclockwise, and the length is unbelievable. Janet, 21.
Janet, go ahead.
Hey, guys, know if there was anything like a tethered balloon or anything released that should be above high band?
No, we haven't heard nothing about it.
Okay. Guy at 39,000 says he sees something at 30,000 that the length is unbelievable and has a strobe on it. This is not good.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's a UFO, so it's the Roswell crap again.
Where's it at now?
He says it's right in high band.
It's right in time. No, we haven't seen nothing like that.
Okay, keep your eyes open.
Foxtrot Kilo.
It's 564. We checked with Canon. They don't have any weather balloons or anything up tonight. Nobody up front knows any idea about that. You still see it? Negative. That's where we initially spotted it. It was between the weather and us, and when there's lightning, you can see a dark object. And it was pretty eerie looking. The aircraft off to the right here going east now. Maybe you'll see it. Okay. First time in 15 years I've ever seen anything like it. Arcade 5 in the next about 2 to 3 minutes, be looking off to your right side. If you see anything about 30,000 feet, one aircraft reported something. There wasn't a weather balloon or anything. It was a long, white-looking thing with a strobe on it. Let me know if you see anything out there. It said it was about 30,000. Cactus 564, you still? 8 minutes 564. Yeah, that was south of your position. It was north. Okay, Arcade 5, let's make it out the left window now. 38 traffic on my left lane right now. I've got some passing off here 9 o'clock and about 12 at 31 westbound. Good. Hey, you guys don't know anything about some kind of a weather balloon or UFO that's out in the vicinity of Fort Sumter tonight, do you? I don't think so. Stand by. Okay. At this point, the answer to that question is no. I was looking 564 last time. Just want to know if we're going to take a minute. Was that in a restricted area? That was just basically south of Terry Will reported it. Okay, the way you went through the the only restricted area is on your south side, nothing to the north side. And those restricted areas are inactive. There shouldn't be anything going on.
Hang on a second.
Yeah, I didn't know if you happen to know of anything going on out there. No balloons in the area, no nothing reported.
Okay, where is this at again?
It's at, well, you know where it's in Tucumcari, New Mexico. It's about 150 miles to the east of Albuquerque.
Okay, how far from Holloman?
Holloman, it looks like it's off the 030 Holloman for about 220 miles.
Okay, I think. Okay, it's kind of hard for us to see here. Okay, 030 for about 200. We don't have anything going on that I know of.
Yeah, I didn't know. We've tried everybody else. Nobody else is. This guy definitely saw it run all the way down the side of the airplane. So it was a pretty interesting thing out there.
Okay, it was at 30,000 feet.
30,000 feet.
It was like long.
Yeah, it's right out of the X Files. I mean, it's a definite UFO or something like that. But I mean,
And y'all are serious about this.
yeah, he's real serious about it too. And he looked at it, saw it. No balloons were reported tonight. Nothing in the
And it
area.
was strobing out the front, he said?
I think the strobe was off the tail end of it.
Okay, strobe tail.
He said it was it was dark, but he said there was lights in it.
How long did he think it was?
He said he was 300 to 400 foot long.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. And we don't have any air carriers out here, so they're strobing along.
The only thing that I
Yeah, not that far to the north.
to me it would sound like an aerostat, but I don't think ours are that big, though.
Yeah, no, and they're more like a this sounds like some sort of.
All right. After I unmute us, I'll say, well, all right. I'll say it again. So that lead flight attendant was none other than Uncle. Right,
Yeah.
Uncle Tim? Hey, Rebecca. Thanks for hopping on. Rebecca
Yeah,
from
so-
Shadow Form. So, yeah, I want to go back now to that because you were the first one that spotted it.
Yeah, right here. I was sitting right behind John, which would have been the jump seat right there. And he was reading a magazine, and Eugene was on radio doing position reports and his normal stuff. And right out of that window, right there, and it was about 2:00, I saw flash. What is that? And John looked up from a magazine and immediately called Albuquerque Control, and that's where the tape let off. Now, in the meantime, while John was doing all this, Eugene and I were like kind of freaking out. Eugene got up, I got up, we walked over behind John, and we were looking out the window watching this thing, and the hair was standing up my arms, and I was shaking, and it was unbelievable. This thing is the size of like a mall, 400 yards feet. I'm going to get back into that thing, man.
You got a food court in it?
Probably.
Cows.
Had to be a Chick-fil-A in
Yeah,
there.
well, I was thinking more cows of all the cattle mutilations.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
so it wasn't
So it'd be
Chick-fil-A.
tongues and
It was,
hearts and
Texas
kidneys.
Roadhouse.
Anyway, no, that's not funny. Those poor
That is
cows.
funny. That is funny. But yeah, I lost control. There was nothing I couldn't process anything. I was in such shock, and Eugene and I were like battling for positions, looking at it, and Eugene actually got so freaked out he went back and sat in the left seat, and he started reaching up, I think, and see, I need John. I need John, because John, there was so much going on, and it was so overwhelming, and I haven't talked to John in years. And John, if you're out there, please contact me. I'm almost certain. Okay, this is what I remember, and if I'm wrong, I'd like John or someone to come correct me. This is what I thought. I thought Eugene got back into the left seat, reached up, turned off autopilot, and was going to deviate and chase the thing. And and John's like, no, 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 we can't do that. But Eugene, his look on his face was like the shock, and he was like, and then within seconds he got, back in control and flipped it back on, and we were in control. But for a minute there, Eugene was like so freaked out. He wanted to take over and go chase this thing. I'm like, this isn't happening. And, I didn't remember
That would have been fun.
I didn't remember that for a long time. I don't know if I said that on the other show.
I think you did. Yeah, you mentioned he wanted to
but,
go. Yeah.
It's been 28 years.
He got talked off the ledge, right?
Yeah, he got talked off real quick.
Yeah.
Because John's like, we can't do that. And he snapped back in it. But he was in shock. I was in shock. John was on the radio. He was in shock. But I can't believe John had all of the togetherness to sit here and talk and play by play the whole incident like he did. I mean, he wasn't in shock like we were.
He was cool hand.
He was totally cool hand Luke. Yeah. Now, after we got off of the radio, John back at me and he's like, what did we just see? And then he kind of like freaked out a little bit, and he's like, dude, look, I'm shaking. And he showed me how affected he was, but the whole time he was talking to ground control and everything, he was like really, really cool. The worst part about all of this was flying the next, I don't know, we were over Tucumcari, New Mexico, I think. Mm-hmm. The worst part about the whole thing was sitting there and flying all the way back into Las Vegas, looking at each other going, what just happened? We drew pictures and made sure that we all agreed on what we thought we saw. And I went into the back, and I went to the back of the crew. And if any of my crew, this video is being sent out to all of America West, former employees, all of America West, flight attendants, America West Union, and the Cactus Club. So if you guys know about this story, or if you were part of the crew on that flight, please contact me, because I'd just like more specifics. I didn't share a lot with the crew. I walked out and I said, yeah, we just saw a UFO, and I think that was it. And it wasn't until we got to the ground and everyone said, hey, what happened? And
well, let's stop there for a second, because I want you to pick up and tell that story. But I want to go back to the recording from the different locations, from Albuquerque, and NORAD and all those others that were in that recording, and kind of go through that so everybody understands what they were discussing. Because I know there was, or maybe we didn't get to that part. Because I know there was at one point where they said the thing traveled from.
Okay. All right. I didn't learn this till later.
Okay.
I learned this later after going to back in the day, there was a weekly show called Sightings, if you remember that.
I do remember that.
Okay, yeah. And they reenacted and did it all. And they tracked this thing and we gave them our latitude and longitude. We gave them our Zulu time. So we knew exactly where this object was, where, when, to the second, to the altitude, latitude, longitude. We knew everything. The information we got back from NORAD and Bigfoot was they had the same object, but when they spotted it, it had traveled 120 miles northeast within less than a minute. So it had they calculated speeds that it had to be traveling around 1,700 knots, which was just impossible. But we saw it hovering, just staying still, and then go into the thunderstorm and then take off. But that's the spot where they initially painted it on their radar. And there's no way it could have gotten to where we saw it, to where they saw it in that amount of time. And so that was confirmation. And that,
Yes. Even a celestial body like a constellation's not going to move that much.
no,
In a
satellites, airplanes, nothing.
So yeah.
Nothing moves that fast. So 120 miles in less than less than a minute. I don't remember the statistics and all the things they quoted, but they calculated it, and it said it had to be going 1,700 knots plus, which just confirmed everything we thought we saw, and it was amazing. So
And so this thing we have on our screen behind us, you said that's down. There we go. It's about right. Oh, right there.
oh, this thing right here,
That thing, yeah.
this
So
thing right
you
here.
said that was kind of what you guys drew, wasn't it?
Well,
I mean, pretty close to that.
it's what we drew, but all right. So I'm going to explain exactly what it looked like. All right. For a lack of a better illustration, this is the only thing we can come up with, because it didn't look like that completely, but there's no way to describe it. There's no way. So I'll tell you exactly what it looked like.
It didn't look like a Cuban cigar.
I said a cigar, but that's so generic. That's so,
And it was shinier than a cigar.
yeah. So I'll explain exactly what I saw. There was a strobe, a bright strobe, brightest light in the sky. I've been all over the world. I've been in 19 countries. I've seen the Northern Lights. I've seen the space shuttle come in and re-enter. I've seen meteors. I've seen everything. This thing was a bright strobe, and it went boom, and then it zip and went boom. So it was a bright light, and then a stream of thin light to the other one, and then pow. So it was like pow, zip, pow, pow, zip, pow. So I had to, well, at the time, I couldn't explain it. When it went into the cell of thunderstorms and got backlit from the thunderstorms back in the panhandle of Texas, that's when the lightning lit up and we saw the object. And I explained it then. It looked like those nuclear subs? It looked like that without the hatch on it, the top thing on it. It was stealthy black, and the lights kept going like this. It wasn't until I don't know how many weeks or months later that I figured out that it must have been a disc, and what it was doing was going like this. So as the light came around, it would be brighter on the end, and then come around and be brighter on the end, and then brighter on the end. So I think the light was doing this. So that's you're getting the boom, 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 and the light must have been revolving around it.
And you're just seeing it from the edge.
And I'm seeing it from the edge over to the edge over the edge, and I think that's where you're getting the boom, boom. So, but the lights were skinny, and they kept going across. They weren't actual lights like this. It was more like a beam of light. But at the time, we were confused and we didn't know how to describe it. So I think when we got to Las Vegas, we said, well, on the way there, we pulled out paper and we drew. We all agreed on what we thought we saw. And
yeah, well, I mean, actually, it's kind of
you can't really draw it.
Yeah, but it's a frightening thought though when you think if you're seeing it from the edge, from its edge, that means you're headed right for it. Or it's headed right for you.
Well, I think it was playing with us because the way it moved, because we saw it at 2:00. This is like 1:00 right here. It was actually a little bit further over, but at 2:00, and then all of a sudden, it went to 3:00, like within a split second. And I'm like, whoa, that's what got us, man. When it went from 2:00 to 3:00, that's when we lost it. That's when we were like, what the heck is that? That's when the hair started standing up, because in the beginning we were like, oh, it's an aerostat. They have these long antennas that there's so many things that they fly up there. So, but it wasn't until it moved from 2:00 to 3:00 within a half a second that we realized we weren't dealing with anything from this planet.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Super Horror Show goes from, words of wisdom to to being a 13-year-old. So he says, he who runs, whoops, I keep covering it. Who sees and runs away lives another day. But then he does a Beavis and Butthead thing.
Hold on.
Yeah, gotta love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I lived another day, man. I don't know what the purpose was of me seeing it, but I mean, there's a long story after this. How much time do we
Okay,
have?
well, we've got, we've got time, dude.
All right. There's a long story after this.
Dirk says, tell it, Tim. Do you know Dirk?
Yeah, I know Derek. He's a real good friend of mine. He was a friend in like 8th or 9th grade.
All right. Well, tell it, Tim. So we got
right,
to hear this story.
So we went ahead as normal and we just tried to compose ourselves and finish the flight and be professional and got to Las Vegas. And when we got to Las Vegas, we pulled up to the jetway. I was the first flight attendant in first class on a 7.5. So there's like 14 seats up front in first class. I looked out the window and the jetway was coming up to the aircraft and there were these men.
Men in black?
Well, they were in suits.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
Right.
cheesy. They were men in suits. It could have been FA. It could have been, they were men in suits. I don't know that they were necessarily black. It was 2:30 in the morning. I'm tired. I'm crazy. They were men in suits. So we got up to the jetway and I picked up the phone and I said, hey, Eugene, do you see this? There's guys out here. He goes, just show them, tell them, get some ID before you let them into the cockpit. And I said, okay. So the door opens up and people start walking off and one guy comes in right around people as they're getting off and he says, hey, and he held up his ID. He goes, can I speak to the captain? And I said, yeah, give me one moment. And I got the ID and I went into the, thank you, bye. And I'm like, hey, Eugene, this guy's here. He wants to talk to you. He goes, all right, let him in. So I went back out and let him in and he walked in and I'm still, hi, bye. Thank you. Have a great time. Good luck in Vegas. Doing my thing. There's still 2 or 3 other guys out there, 3 other guys out in the jetway and they're in suits and everything. And they're hanging back. And as everybody's deplaning after first class and then the cabin B, they kind of get a little caught up, everyone's pulling out their luggage and there's a lull. And one of the gentlemen stepped into the doorway and says, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm fine. How are you? He goes, good. I'm like, I said, what's going on? He goes, oh, we're just doing routine checks. Anything interesting happen tonight? I'm like, no, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Is everything okay? And I played totally stupid. And he stepped back out and I kept saying bye to everyone. Then all of a sudden the door opens. The gentleman steps out. He doesn't even make eye contact with me. He just, because if you know how the cockpit is right here, well, back this way.
He said cockpit.
I did.
Sorry. Okay.
He walked out and left and didn't look at me at all, went out and he started talking to the guys in the jetway. And then all of a sudden Eugene comes out and as he's exiting the cockpit, his face is white and he doesn't make eye contact with me and he just walks out. And then John follows him as I'm still saying bye, thank you, have a great time, blah, blah, blah. And I look at John and John looked up at me as he's walking out the cockpit. And this is right here, man. This is a view I got. Okay. He was in the seat and he was walking right toward me and he looked right at me and he said, of course, they couldn't see me because he was in the cockpit. I'm like, oh, no problem. And he leaves, and they're gone. The men leave with them, and everything's over. So we say bye to everyone, and we were heading back to Phoenix on a flight in about 45 minutes. And it was a Terminator, so we didn't have to cross seat belts. We didn't have to clean the aircraft. We didn't have to do anything. So we got all our stuff. We went over to another gate and we got to the Phoenix gate. We got to the aircraft It was a light flight that night. They went ahead, they boarded us, and we're deadheading. So we're not working, we're just sitting. So we went to the exit row, and we all sat down, and we wait, and we wait, and we wait.
Did I miss something?
The captain comes on and says, well, folks, we'll be on our way here in just a few minutes. We're just waiting on some last minute paperwork and some connecting bags. The weather in Phoenix is this. Our flying time is this. Don't worry about us being late. We'll still be there on time, blah, blah, blah. And we waited and we waited. And then the guys came on, and they came back down to the exit row, and John sat on the aisle seat. I was on the window seat, and I looked over and I'm like, dude, what's up? He's like, shh, 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 don't talk to me here. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, and he did not talk to me the whole way home, the 45-minute flight to Phoenix. He wouldn't look at me. He wouldn't talk to me. And I'm sitting here going, man, what the heck? 45 minutes. I'm sitting here just losing my mind going, what just happened? And so we we get out of the aircraft, and we're walking down the hall. We're going to our employee bus. We go through the terminal. I'm like, dude, are you all right? He says, yeah, I'm fine. Just wait till we get to the parking lot. And so we waited until we got to the parking lot, and we got off the bus, and his car was over there, and my car was over there. And he said, walk with me. And I walked with him, and we got to his car, and he said, we didn't see anything. We did not hear anything, and we're not going to report anything because I don't want to lose my certificate. I'm like, okay. And he goes, we'll talk about this later. And so we got in our cars and we left. And that's all I heard about it for a long, 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 long time. And it freaked me out, man. The whole way home, I was like, what just happened? And I'm like looking up at the sky. I'm like, you know what? They know I saw them.
Your life changed that night.
Yeah. They know I saw them. They saw me seeing them, and there had to be a reason. There's no reason I would see them unless there was a reason, right? Because you get these UFO sightings all the time, and people see things and everything like that. But when they appear to a lot of people, and if you go and you watch all these alien stories and ancient aliens and all these abduction reports and everything like that, when you have that interaction, that correspondence with it, you kind of just know that you know what they know. I mean, it's a connection, and I couldn't understand that. And the whole way home, I was thinking, they saw me, they know where I am, they know everything, because they do, and I know they do. And I got home.
You brought one home with you, damn it.
I did.
It's right there.
And I got home, and it was 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't remember, in Phoenix. And I walked in, and I woke my mom, and Scotty, my dad, up. And I was freaked out. And they're like, what happened? What happened? And I'm like, so my dad is a very spiritual, and he studied theology. He's very, very gifted in the.
If we can figure out how to do this at this point, I would like to link Scotty's episode. Put a link to his episode on here.
Yeah, how would you do that?
He blew my mind that night too. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
All right.
If I can figure out how to do it, we'll do it.
So I went to him and I said, Scotty, all right, because I'm an ordained minister. My dad was a preacher all my life. My first dad was a preacher all my life, evangelist and everything. I went to church my whole life. I've been through everything you can imagine, through Pentecostal and Assembly of God and everything. I've seen miracles. I've seen healings. I've seen people just, filled with the Spirit. I've seen all of that stuff in church. But this was completely different. So I walked up and I said, Scotty, show me in the Bible where is there anywhere in the Bible that says there's other life forms, there's other existence, there's aliens. And he was hesitant. He goes, well, there's a few chapters. He talked about Moses. He talked about what got my attention was Ezekiel. And that's a great story. Ezekiel is just fabulous if you guys want to go check that out. And so he said, yes, there's been instances in the Bible where there's been visions and people have come down from heaven and all like that. I said, so they exist. And he goes, well, I can only tell you what the scripture says. He goes, I've never seen whatever, but he was kind of gentle in telling me, yeah, but no, like he didn't experience it, but there's
evidence.
There's evidence that go way, way back. And then he started telling me about how they took out books from the Bible like Enoch and stuff like that. Anyway, time goes by. I lost my mind. That was in 1995. I quit flying in October. This was in May. I stopped flying in October, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. And after a few months, John contacted me and says, hey, Eugene, or this guy contacted me from Washington, and he wants to know if we want to tell him about our story. But since me and Eugene are still flying, we don't want to, threaten our certificates or anything. Would you mind calling him and talking to him? And I said, sure. So he gave me a number. I called him, and his name was Walter Webb. And you can Google his name on any search engine. The guy does not exist anymore. At the time he did, but I called and I spoke to a Walter Webb in Washington, and he wanted to fly me out on a red-eye flight that night to Washington. And it kind of freaked me out. And I'm like, I don't think so. And then I contacted John. I said, dude, he wants me to come to Washington tonight. And John's like, I don't know about that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't either. Within 2 weeks, I tried to contact him again, and all of his information, the phone number was disconnected. I went to the internet back then because the internet was like very, very, cheesy.
It cost a lot of money back in the day too.
And I searched and everything, and Walter Webb no longer existed. And to this day, I keep looking for Walter Webb, and it doesn't exist. Now, I've spoken to several different alien high-profile people like Linda Moulton Howe and Erskine and not Dave.
Not Giorgio.
Not Giorgio.
Oh, dang.
Giorgio, we got to talk,
got
dude.
great hair, man.
We have to talk. Stanton Friedman.
Yeah, that's right. Stanton.
And
may he rest in peace.
We talked a lot about this stuff, and Linda kind of, shot me down, and that's fine. She, she's a skeptic, and Stanton Friedman was really into it. And I talked to a gentleman in Roswell. We went to Roswell. I was at the museum, and I talked to a guy there, and he put me in contact with another guy, and they were all really interested. But for some reason, Walter Webb completely disappeared. Now, if you go on the internet right now and look up all the America West Case 564, all the videos are gone except for like one, the Smithsonian.
Well, seeing that's one that says, yes, it was celestial bodies, and you had a celestial body.
Well, I was a woman in that. I was a woman.
Absolutely. She was a fine woman in that episode.
Yeah, I was transgender in that episode. But they never quite got the whole story right, and they said all attempts to contact the crew were politely denied. Nobody tried to contact the crew. And so I stopped talking about it at that time. And then I went to a couple of MUFON meetings, and I don't know if you're familiar with MUFON, but they're usually held at like National Guard bases. And so my brother and I went into a MUFON meeting and walked in just to try it out to see, what's going on. and they were playing my episode on the screen, Sightings, America West, 564. So I walked up and I said, who's in charge? And they told me the guy's name. It was Tom. I don't remember his last name. I'm like, hey, you see that episode right there? And he said, yeah. I said, I was the flight attendant on that flight. He goes, no, get out.
Did you leave?
No.
Okay.
He's like, he goes, you hang right here. And he went and he left me and my brother alone for a while. And then he came back and he says, we're having a change of the venue. Go ahead.
No, I just remember that now. You know, Super Horror Show's dad was also an ordained minister. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So he came over and he says, we want you to speak tonight. Do you mind? And I'm like, you want me to get up and what? He said, tell about your encounter. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess I can do that. And I'm a little freaked out. So he gets up and he introduces and they do the notes and the meetings and all the introductions and everything. He goes, well, folks, unfortunately, we're not going to do what we had planned tonight because we have a very, very special guest. And he introduced me and he pulled me up there and I got up on stage and I told everybody in that auditorium the story. And I relived it again. That was the only other time I really relived it other than when we did our episode. And at the end of the thing, people were clapping and everything. I'm like, yeah, I'm not here for that. You know, it's not about that. And I walked around and I came out to the back. And as I got to the back, people hit me in all directions. And when I say people, they were weirdos. Some people were coming up to me going, hey, I need to touch you. And they would grab a hold of my arm and they're like, oh yeah, I feel that. And other people were asking me for my autograph. And other people were saying, they were trying to interact with me to feel like there were people that do like rocks and
rock, paper, scissors. No,
like stones, you know, like crystals and
Oh
stones.
yeah.
Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors. There were no scissors. Okay. And so it kind of freaked me out and I didn't like all that tension, but then Erskine approached me and said, I need you to come on and do my radio show. I'm on Saturday nights and I talk about UFOs and everything. So I went on his show and that's a long story. And that's when I met Linda Mote. But long story short, I guess I'll go ahead and finish it like this.
Well, we just got started.
I don't understand why all of the, why everybody had to dilute, change, distort the story. And John, if you're out there, I love you, man. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. Some people have said, oh, you shouldn't say their names. You should redact it. Well, Eugene is no longer with us because when John contacted me and says, hey, Eugene's going to go forward with the story, I'm like, oh, wow. He goes, so you may want to talk to Eugene because maybe you want to do it with him. And so.
Yeah, I think you're okay saying their names because if you do watch like the Smithsonian episode, they do say their names.
They're in there. And so, all the stuff that's still on the internet has their names. So I'm like, all right, yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll contact Eugene. And I kind of put it off. I didn't think about it too much. And it was probably a couple weeks later. And John called me back and says, hey, did you hear? And I said, what? He goes, Eugene died. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, heart attack, natural causes. He was all alone. And seriously? I mean, what? Are you freaking kidding me? And so my mind's going a million places. I don't know what to think now. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know if I was scared to talk about this stuff when they wanted me to come on and do that show.
Yeah, you were kind of freaked out that day.
Well, I still am. And my daughter.
You sound sexier than I do. For some reason, this just doesn't sound as good as your mic. For some reason, I'm having a hard time with this.
Have another beer.
Maybe that's what it is.
Have another beer.
I need another beer.
All right, where do you want to go now with it? I mean,
Oh, here. Let me make sure it's plugged in good. Okay. Anyway, I want to go back to some of these.
if you guys have questions,
Yeah.
let me know. If there's anybody
go
here
back.
from America West, please.
Here's a question.
Yeah, all right. Which one?
Oh, can you read it on there? I mean,
The size was about, can you describe the size? The size was about, I said 300 to 400. At the time I said feet long, but I'm pretty sure it was about the size of at least a football field. I want to say, I was saying 300 yards. It got reported in one of our things. It was 300 to 400 feet.
which is a football field,
Yeah,
which
but
is 100 yards. But
well, I know, but I said
Yeah.
300 to 400 yards, which is like 3 football fields. But I think in some of the reports, John went back and said 300 to 400 feet. But I'm thinking it was a little bit larger than that. However, it was closer, it was further, and then so it was really, really hard to estimate the size. It was bigger than anything that could fly in the air. It was bigger than a Goodyear blimp or a Firestone blimp. It was bigger than
or a Chinese spy balloon.
or a Chinese spy balloon. It was bigger. They said it was what, 3 buses or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it was much bigger than that. And it was long and cylindrical. I absolutely do not know how long it was. It was longer than anything that could be in the air. That's all I know.
Well, that's big. So, and I'm okay. So Christine, she had an experience.
Oh, you didn't need binoculars. You could see it. It was
Oh,
apparent.
now I'm lost. Oh, in 78. That was a good year. That's the year I got married. So it was a good year. So Christine saw one.
Well, everybody's seen one.
Well, but then here's the follow-up to that. She actually contacted different organizations to see if there was any weather balloons. So they checked on it. They did their due diligence to see if...
About your sighting in Ohio?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you really, really, really see it, most people
Yeah.
contact the airport and the Air Force Base and everything. If you really, 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 I mean, in your gut, in your mind, see something like this, you ask questions. There's no doubt you ask questions. And most of it, some people call 911, some people call Air Force bases, some people call Ghostbusters.
Yeah, well, whoever.
In case you have to. But yeah, when it's that impressive, when it's that crazy, then people do that. And so many people have done this. So I know I'm not the only one. And to this day, we have no explanation, but it changed my life. And now I know that
And because it changed your life, it's changed my life.
I know it's changed everybody.
It's
Yeah.
been crazy. I mean, that's when Tim came into...
Well,
no, I mean, it came into my life before that, but that's the first time he remembers coming into my life.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because of the brain injury.
Yeah.
But because Joey, I mean, we met like 5 or 6 years before.
What was it like in 2012? So it was almost, 8 years before you came on and did the show.
Yeah.
So,
and Allison says, hey, these guys want to talk to you again. I'm like, I don't know who these guys are. Oh, yeah, we went and saw them in concert. And I'm like, don't remember. But then I had my motorcycle accident. And I'm like, I kind of like remembered them by looking at them. But anyway, we've reconnected.
who could forget this face?
Yes. I've seen it.
I'd like to forget.
I've seen it different ways.
Yeah,
but
you have.
I like this way too.
Uh.
But yeah.
I'm going to go back to Christine's a little bit. I mean,
We've all
just-
seen something.
no, what was this one?
Yeah, the car quit running.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
people
that's
see-
where I want to go. So yeah, in her, because she said there was like 50 calls that came in reporting the same thing. So I got to go back to 19. You know what? Well, no, this was 76.
Is this your story?
So I'm going to 1976. Yeah, after the Peter Frampton
Okay.
concert.
I was 11.
Yeah. So Peter Frampton Comes Alive. It
I
was
remember
an
that.
awesome concert. We had dates, me and my bud. So we decided we were going to go cruise on up to the west side of the valley where they, kind of heading up the hills just a little bit. But that's kind of where people went to do things.
Okay.
You know,
All right. Yeah,
to
done
get to
things.
know each other a little better. So
Yeah.
we were heading up to the dry farms, as we called them, and it was a pretty long dirt road to get to a good point where there's a really nice look out of the valley, and as we're driving up there, all of a sudden this huge, just brilliant bright light flashed in front of us. The car dies, and then we're all just kind of, I don't know what happened, I mean, once we could start seeing again, it was like, let's not do this. Let's,
So do you have missing time?
Well, I don't know. I just know that happened, and then we started the car and we started heading back.
You have no idea how long
And
the time was?
So I really don't know. But, and we were all just quiet.
Yeah.
We're all very just quiet, and the radio's on, and we're hearing people calling into the radio station about a sighting of something flying across the valley,
Wow.
and, it was like, yeah, we scared the damn thing away.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that was my experience, but that was the cool thing, was hearing people call in, seeing,
Confirming it. Yeah.
confirming something. So
Yeah. That was.
all I saw was a bright light that blinded me, and what happened right after that. It's
So
just
maybe
like, I
you
just
said-
remember the bright light, and then I remember driving.
Well,
back.
you may need
So-
some hypno-regression.
Yeah, maybe. But
Do you have bad dreams? Do you have dreams you can't understand like that? From that? You don't know.
No,
You need hypno-regression.
yeah, it's been too long.
But a lot of people, I mean, look at all of our comments. A lot of people, you watch these ancient aliens and you watch all these alien shows, and there's a thing on like Science Channel or whatever about aliens in Alaska. I mean, it runs nonstop. They interview person after person after person. And there's thousands of people that, yeah, that's what happened. It came down. I don't remember. I lit up a cigarette and I saw a light, and then next thing I remember, I didn't have a cigarette in my hand and it was out on the ground, and I went back inside and 45 minutes had gone by. So this happens everywhere. Yeah.
Yes.
Parking.
Mhm. That's what we
And
did. Call
everybody,
it that, too.
a lot of people have experienced, a lot of people don't want to talk about it. They blocked it out.
Parking,
Yeah. A lot of people have been parking.
and they
Is
don't
that
want
what
to talk
you're
about
doing
it.
up there?
They don't want to talk about it.
There's some I don't want to talk about.
Well, I mean, it can be an experience.
Yeah. Both of them.
We're not going to go there.
But
Oh,
so again, if any of my AmeriQuest friends or John or anybody knows John, having contacted me, if anybody has any questions, please, I'd like to know who my crew was. I don't know who the guys in the back were, the flight attendants were, because it's just, it never occurred to me to find out who that was. But a lot of people have heard about the story. I've had a couple of pilots contact me and say, yeah, I remember that story. And then I've tried to contact them and they're like, nope, I don't know anything about it. They've kind of like backed out. They don't want to talk about it. And that's fine. I understand that. I mean, your certificate is very important and it's your job, it's your livelihood. And I don't know that it matters anymore, but
well, yeah, it's like Navy pilots don't talk about it till they're done flying.
yeah.
But
They're retired, yeah.
Yeah.
And then once they do, they have to go public to protect themselves. Sort of like Bob Lazar.
Mhm.
He would not be here had he not gone public.
You're probably
That
right.
saved his life. So, I wish more pilots would come forward and tell us more stories, because there's a lot more stories that they just refuse to report. And I understand that. That's just the pilot. That's just the airline code that we don't talk about it. And hopefully as these pilots start retiring here soon, we'll start hearing more stories. And,
Yeah. Well, I think we're really close to just full disclosure.
we are. I mean, when they land on the lawn, it's going to be a Fox News alert, and everyone's going to go about their business, because
that's yesterday's news
aliens
release.
landed. Well,
Yeah, what took them so long?
yeah. So I think they've gotten us, ready for the reveal. So I don't think everyone's going to freak out. But back in '95, I wanted to tell everybody about my experience, but I'm glad nobody knew, because it would have completely torn up society. I mean, you'd lose control of government and police and everything as structures, it. And you don't want that to happen. That would be, remember Orson Welles, he did little things
slowly anyway, but yeah, we don't want it.
Right. But I think today, with all the information we've been given from Ancient Aliens and all these shows and everything, it wouldn't surprise me if it did happen and people wouldn't necessarily lose their minds like they would have back then.
Yeah, we've definitely been prepared. Or we're being prepared even more every day.
We've been desensitized.
Even that spy balloon wasn't really a balloon.
No.
Okay, it was a balloon.
You want to talk about that? Well, I know people.
Well, see, I want to get into this because Uncle Tim is Uncle Tim, because everybody has an uncle that's just cool, that's just done everything, and that's how Tim became Uncle Tim. Not only has he been a flight attendant, had cool experiences. I mean, he's been a truck driver. He's been a repo man.
Everything. A bounty hunter.
Yeah. Yeah. Tim's done all kinds of fun stuff.
A jack of all trades, master of none.
And
been all over the world. I've almost died 9 times.
And there's a reason. And we're going to go into that one in one of our upcoming documentaries.
And there's Iceland, and there's Slovakia, and there's Afghanistan, and there's Baghdad, and there's a lot of stories. So it takes a lot right now
to stand by
to really get me going. But this right here was the candle on the cake. And I'm glad you guys listened to it. And please, reach out to me if you have any opinions or questions, or if any of my America West friends are out there. I advertise this a lot. I got a lot of responses. So I hope you guys will contact me and hope we can talk about it. I'd love to know who my crew is. That's the most important thing right there.
That would be very cool if they would step forward.
Yeah.
Some of them.
And John, if you're out there, please contact me. That'd be really cool.
And I really screwed up at the beginning of our show today, because I started running the timer and the intro, and I didn't hit start broadcast.
Oh, that's all right.
So I don't know what we really missed at the beginning. Did we talk about our cool shirts? And we got that's my.
I'm gonna need an extra large.
Yeah, we'll get it.
This beer drinking is gonna put me into another size.
We've gone full color now.
Yeah, if you guys are interested, they're $25 a piece. Let us know.
Yeah, well, something like that. Oh wait, Alice put something up here. Let's see. Yes, Christine. We're going to have plenty more Tim stories. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, well, that's really cool. All right, let's read this one.
I'm reading it. Have you asked him about anything like that to Alice?
Yeah,
Alice?
He would be fun to talk to.
Yeah.
Really fun to talk to. And yeah, you may have to contact me direct message me, and we might need to talk together. I'd like to hear about that, because a lot of these guys, like I said, I've been to a lot of bars with a lot of ex-military pilots that are now pilots.
You could just leave it. I've been to a lot of bars.
Been to a lot of bars with a lot of ex-military.
The alien's moving. Wyatt, are you back there?
And, a few beers, and I've heard these guys tell some stories. So, I kind of know more than I want to. But yeah, anybody like that, 90-year-old, anything like that would be interesting to hear their stories. I'd love to hear that. If anybody wants to do that.
Hey, and everybody right now, please give us a big thumbs up if you're on YouTube.
And subscribe.
Get that? Yeah. Give us a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to The Truth About Beer, and please do so. We're so close to our 700 mark. And
we'll hit
and then,
that
of course,
tonight.
Share the video as much as you can. And we love to hear your comments. So after the show, if you're watching this on a replay, please leave us some comments. And we'd love to hear from you.
We would. I would love to hear from some of my flight attendant friends and pilots. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, if you could hook me up, that would be
was Lisa
interesting.
talking about my dear father-in-law.
Oh,
Oh, more comments. I don't want to cut anybody off. From United Airlines. So he probably saw a lot more too.
yeah. I believe that. You ever see anything? Oh, of course not. No, nothing. It's their livelihood, man. I mean, they can't. They just, first of all, they're scared. And second of all, it's their livelihood. They can't talk about it, period. And I understand that now. But
Yeah.
John, please. I can't sleep at night, man. I got some questions.
Yeah. All right. Well, my beer's gone. There's more to drink, which we'll continue on, I'm sure. And because we have to drink these beers.
Oh, we do.
You know, they're delicious. And
You want to go on for another hour? Or?
Well, I mean, we can go as long as you want.
All right. You guys want to keep going, or do you want to?
Well, I'd like to
ask
field
some
questions. I mean, if people have questions for you, Tim, that would be awesome.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions.
But I
feel
need
free.
another beer.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, so I don't have my special ring on like you do.
That's the truth about beer, is you need more
You can't just have one.
without having the other. All right, we'll wait and give you guys a chance to ask some questions. All right, Shadow, we'll keep going. What do you guys want to talk about?
I mean, it's Friday night.
Yeah, we could pull out a guitar if you want. We did that once. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, once or twice.
More beer, more truth about.
More truth about. It is delicious. Even the second one is delicious.
Yeah, it's kind of better.
Better. It's not bitter. Guitar, yeah.
Yeah, guitar.
You need to break out your U bass there,
Yeah,
Papa Bones, and we'll have to have a jam
yeah. Well,
session.
you know what? I think we're going to have one of those shows where we sit here and talk until we're talked out, and then we'll just pull out a guitar and start singing. If you guys want to hear that, I mean, we've done it. It was fun.
So I actually have a new guitar coming.
Is this
Well, what it is
number
is-
24? Or what?
Yeah, whatever it is. I don't count anymore, but because I have a Taylor.
I know.
And that's like a $2,500 guitar.
Right.
You know, and so I get really nervous when I take it out and put it on a stand. I'm afraid someone's going to.
I remember going, "Hey, can I look at that?" And I picked it up, and you're like,
yeah. And
you were
people
like,
walk by. So I said, okay, well, if I'm going to start playing out again, which I've been doing,
you're going to need it to go.
I need to get me a beater guitar.
Yeah.
And so I ordered a new one, and it was supposed to be delivered a week ago Wednesday.
What is it?
It's an Epiphone.
Okay.
Okay, but anyway, do you remember what was going on last Wednesday? Not this Wednesday that we just passed, but a week ago. There was a reason we didn't do the show last Friday, and it had to do with a lot of things that were going on Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
You
Thursday.
mean the freeze?
The freeze.
The freeze-ageddon?
Yeah, the freeze-ageddon. And
3 days where everyone, or 4
And
days,
so-
it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah,
the
so-
whole place just shut down. Schools,
yeah, schools,
businesses,
everything. I mean,
everything was shut
even my
down.
wife didn't.
Yeah.
They shut down work and everything
Ice
because you
storm.
just can't. I grew up in Utah where we had snow and it's like snow days. And we're driving the snow and all that stuff, but
It's not snow.
no, ice storms are a whole different animal.
It's ice, and you're done.
You just don't go anywhere. I mean, you can't even
Nowhere.
walk to the mailbox or you'll fall and
No,
break your
I went out.
your hip.
I went out in the front yard and fell down. Had to be picked up. Yeah, you just can't. You can't do anything. There were cars that slid out of the driveway on these slopes.
yeah, no,
that just slid out of the driveway into the streets.
I watched some funny videos of people even trying to go to their mailbox or to their car or whatever. But anyway, so it was supposed to have been delivered last Wednesday. And someone's having fun back there with the alien. It never did show up. And then all of a sudden, I keep checking my FedEx, delivery, and it keeps showing it's on the truck for delivery. It's been on the truck for delivery for a week and 2 days now.
Oh my! It must have
So-
slid into a ditch.
So I don't know how to. So I contacted my supplier, who shipped it, Sweetwater. They're awesome people. Anyway, out of Indiana, they contacted me today and said, I think it's lost, so we're gonna ship you out another one. And so
So they
It'll
should
be
do
here.
that right away and override it.
Yeah, so I hope so. So I should have it soon, and I'll break it out. It's a beautiful guitar. It's a copy. It's Epiphone is licensed under Gibson,
Yeah.
and so the Epiphone version is quite a bit less than the Gibson version of the same guitar. The Gibson version runs about $6,000, and
It's still going to make it sound good.
oh yeah, it's going to sound awesome. In fact,
Well, let's learn some. It looks like
okay,
everybody
well,
wants some.
We'll
Peter
break it
Frampton.
out. You'll see it here.
We'll have to play some Peter Frampton.
I can play some Frampton, you betcha, because I saw him live, and then I saw a UFO, and it was a spiritual experience.
the band.
UFO? I know I never did see UFO live,
I've seen
but
them.
I've
once.
seen a UFO live
After Frampton.
after Frampton.
All right. Well, that means something.
And Frampton didn't even have a warm-up band. I mean, it was just Frampton.
Yeah.
And
Comes alive.
He did come alive.
I
Oh
love
wait,
Frampton.
what's going on here? No, I have a Les Paul Standard that actually costs more than my
Taylor.
Taylor, but that's another guitar that I don't take out very often because, I play it and I love it, and Lisa loves it.
It doesn't get the attention it
Mm.
deserves.
Yeah, Lisa, tell Super Horseshow what you think of my Les Paul when I play it. But anyway,
And that's
we're
kinda
really
private.
getting off topic.
All right.
Oh,
So
okay.
So, you guys give us some recommendations. We're going to do a lot of ghost stories. We're going to do a lot of UFO stories. We're going to do a lot of, in the coming up months, we're going to start doing, and this is what Allison and I have been talking about later. We want to do some house calls where people have things going on in their houses and they need to get rid of them. And I want to start going out and investigating and clearing houses and start doing that. Plus, we want to start doing some investigations here locally.
Yes,
in the
we do.
graveyards.
Texas is a treasure trove of paranormal activity.
Yeah, restaurants,
places.
graveyards, hospitals. And I still think we need to go back to an antique store. That was just incredible. That was one of the best experiences I've ever had.
I know. And that, I think I still have some video from that we need to upload, because your wife, Allison, got a big old scratch on that one.
Yes, she did. And
Her whole back was scratched.
and
up
a
on
few
that
of
one.
us got pushed, and there were some,
And things that fell in front of us.
yeah, the piano broke.
Yeah.
Or whatever that thing was standing in the
what
corner.
was it? No, it was an old train whistle thing that was huge.
The leg came off of it and
You know,
fell.
it fell, and yeah,
Yeah,
it was pretty wild.
And there was a cage in the back that was shaking and rattling, and Allison got the hex scratched out of her back, and she got mishandled a little bit, freaked her out. Yeah, it was a good time, man. Antique stores are pretty incredible.
What? So Rebecca is saying there you have snow in the forecast for Tuesday in Arizona, Phoenix,
So
after the Super Bowl.
So check this out. So the news was on this morning, and they had a New York broadcaster, and it was 60, 70 degrees in New York, and it was 40 degrees in Arizona
It's crazy, isn't it?
in February.
Yeah, we've had more warm days here in North Texas.
This has been the best summer
than they've had
ever.
in Arizona.
Oh,
It really
it's been
has.
so amazing. I don't have a heater on my
Other
Hummer right now.
other than the ice storms we get.
Yeah,
that
I don't have a
last
heater in
week.
the Hummer, and it's like I can drive whenever I want. It's like perfect. This has been the greatest winter. I think we're in the 60s, 70s this week, and then 30s
Yeah,
and 40s at
it's-
night, and then chance of rain
Texas
every
does
day.
a lot of drinking.
Yeah, they
and,
do.
the weather does, because it's always drunk. You never know. This just sounds weird. I got to figure this out. Do I need to get up on top of it?
Maybe
to
you
sound
do.
as sexy as
No,
Tim.
you sound sexy.
You sound sexy. I sound sexy. To
Don't
you.
tell anybody I said that, but yeah, you
Okay.
sound very sexy.
All right.
I think it's
just,
it's
probably hearing my own voice resonate in my head along with the.
I think it's our new
Earbuds.
earphones
Yeah, that's got to be it.
because we don't.
Maybe
do
that's what it is.
we stopped doing the big things anymore, so we could wear hats.
When I was wearing the cans, I sounded sexy in the
it's like
cans.
NPR.
Yeah, but with the ear,
No,
in-ear
no,
monitors,
we're sexy.
well, especially wearing these shirts. Super,
Yeah, the
super
shirts.
sexy.
It's all about the shirts. Why do I fill mine out more than you?
Yeah, no, they do Super Horror Show. These are the same ones that I use when I play, and they sound great when I'm playing live music and stuff. So, but for some reason, I've gotten really used to using the cans when we've been broadcasting, and so this is just a different sound for me to
So
hear myself.
the cans are like, what's his name? Rogan. You know, he has to wear the cans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people that do podcasts and video stuff, the look is the cans, but and they have that NPR sound, and they sound really good, but can't wear a hat. I like the hats.
Yeah, well,
Let's see your hair.
let's go
man.
back to.
All right, let's talk about
You
this.
can't really see that, can you?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah. So Joey, Papa Joe, is going to start growing his hair out until
forever, man.
Forever.
I can't.
I want a
stand
mullet.
It, but- yeah, I want a mullet.
I want a
I mean, I'm in
ponytail.
Texas. I got to have a mullet.
I want a ponytail and a mullet. My wife made me shave my goatee today, and I hated that. But
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah,
I want to go for the
you got a
mullet.
baby face, which is nice. So, originally when I,
I get
shaved my
facials from very cool people.
head, yeah, you do. I'm jealous, and I'm gonna have one of those.
Yeah.
But so when I first shaved my head, it was because I wanted to go as Walter White, as Heisenberg, for Halloween
Okay, can you tell us who that is?
from Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
And so anyway, I did that,
You did
and
look
then I
like it.
really just enjoyed having a bald head. It was just fine. But now, I mean, Bryan Cranston, who played Walter White,
Right.
he's in a new show on it's either HBO or Showtime. I can't remember, but it's Your Honor, And now he's got a big old bushy beard and long hair. And it's like, damn it, Brian. Now I got to do that. So let's see if I still look like Bryan Cranston. Of course, I'm a lot fatter, but once I grow all this,
You're not fat. You're healthy.
I'll drink beer.
Drink beer.
It makes me feel
The
good.
truth about beer.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I did that, Rebecca, back in 2014, I want to think, is when I shaved my head.
Yeah,
The first time.
And I've never seen him with hair, so this is new every week. every time I see him, it's like, oh, pretty cool.
I mean, I've tried to grow it back a couple times, and
What are you afraid of?
well, it gets to that point, it's just really itchy, and then I wake up and I've got bedhead. You know, in the morning, it's like, I'm not used to this. I got to take care of it. I mean, I like to just get out of bed and I'm ready to go.
Lazy.
I got bedhead and I got hair I got to
just
take care of.
lazy, man.
So, well, yeah. I
No,
mean,
I
I'm not
like
going to
it.
argue with
I
it.
really like it. I mean, you have more hair than I do. I didn't know that until now.
Well, if you want to see my
kinda-
older brother, who's 4 years older than me, is no Steve.
Steve.
Yeah, he's
Oh, I saw him on the day he was like playing.
Grandpa rocks. Yeah,
He looks like Santa Claus though,
well, he does Elvis.
with that white thing.
Oh yeah, no, he's an elf that does Christmas music. And,
Oh,
and
elf.
stuff. Elvis.
Elvis.
Yeah.
Got
But
it,
he's
got
got
it,
really
got it.
long hair and
Yeah.
big old white beard and stuff. Well, it's a goatee.
You look just alike.
So
If you had the longer, you guys are like identical. You and Jeff.
so
And
we'll see.
ev-
Well, see
all
if
of
you
it.
can pull up on yours.
What do you want to see?
See if you can pull him up on probably just even on Facebook. You can go to Grandpa Rocks. Can you pull up Facebook?
No.
Let's see. He's got like 40,000 followers on TikTok.
I don't have TikTok.
Yeah, I don't think you can pull that up on the
YouTube?
computer. His YouTube stuff is still older. That's where he does all of his Elvis. Anyway,
That would be cool.
people thought we were twins.
Who
Well, we
did?
both had
Oh
hair.
yeah, you and yeah.
My bro Steve. Yeah. Oh
So-
yeah, which reminds me, his son, Jeff, the guru of the Suds, will be coming back and
When?
joining us. Well, we just need to tell him when.
All
and
right,
what beer
next
we're
week.
gonna do.
You guys are gonna love this.
Well, we'll be in 2 weeks.
Tell them the story. This is awesome. This guy is the guru of beers. He knows
Well,
everything about beer.
yeah, he's just a fun guy. He has his own YouTube channel called Blind Beer Taste Test. And so he's just into different beers, and he just knows about them. So he's fun to have on because he does a lot of checking out of what am I trying to say? He knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff.
Yeah,
We
that's what I'm saying.
we did.
So-
If you go back and look at our episodes, there's a lot of them, and we would introduce a new beer.
There are a lot of them.
There was a new beer every show, and he would go into the BPUs and the IBAs and the 683s, and
Whatever it takes.
he broke down all the and the history and where they came from and all that stuff, and it was very interesting. If you want to learn about beer, this is a guy. So we want to start doing. I want to do this again. We're going to start.
no, we
pulling
will.
back.
I've talked to him, and he's all.
He's on with
He-
it. All right.
yeah,
So
he's
we're
down
going to
with
do
it,
that.
so-
So next time our shows, we'll start with.
Yeah, he just wasn't.
He had a
we
dry
were-
January.
Yeah, he did a dry January.
Bless his
and,
heart.
And we were going to do this show. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
for the ice storm.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right.
yeah,
We'll
so
have
it's
him
coming up.
So look forward to that. It'll be fun. You'll enjoy
It will
that.
be.
And what we'll do is we'll post the beer a week before. So if you guys want to go down,
That's a lot of work, man. That
Yeah,
means
well,
we have to do a lot of planning.
I got time.
All right.
If we can, we'll post the beer we're going to have on the Friday night. And if you guys want to go down
of course.
and buy a 6-pack, and then you can enjoy it with us, and we can do the taste test together.
Well, we did know we were going to do this one for a little while because we were going to do it last week.
Right.
So this one we had figured out. Dang it! If I knew we had to postpone it a week, I should have got Jeff some of this and had him give us a little report this week. But
Didn't we used
it'll
to
be
like
coming up.
do illegal shipping?
Well, we ship them as guitar pedals.
Oh, guitar pedals. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure I'm not sure you can get this, but
Well, I don't think you can get this in
we'll
Utah.
figure out a way.
Yeah. But
No, we'll figure out a way.
if it could come in a form of a guitar pedal and
Yeah. And
in cans, it's a lot easier.
it's going to be like an Amazon back massager.
Yeah.
So we can do that.
It has the same effect sometimes.
Amazon
if you have enough
box,
of them,
we're good.
or as far as a massage, enough beers can have the effect of a massage, right?
Exactly. And Jeff, we can't wait to have you back, man. I really miss you. It's going to be fun. You guys are going to enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. Rebecca, if you joined us late on this one, this is out of Granbury, Texas. It's called, the brewer is Revolver, and this is their Blood and Honey. And so it's a Hefeweizen that's brewed with blood orange pill and honey, and they also put some spices in there. So if you've had the Voodoo Ranger Atomic Pumpkin, you know how the spices are in that beer? It's very similar.
So what are the
So it's
LBRs on
delicious.
here?
LPRs. The IBUs, I can't read.
That's never going to
I-
get old.
I know. You're a funny guy. So, but it's 7% ABV, alcohol by volume, which is awesome.
So BPU, AVV.
The ABUs is
right.
the bitter units.
Okay. All right. I'm never going to remember all that.
So just think of bitter units.
when you hear me say the PSRs or whatever, you'll know what I'm talking about.
They don't show the ABUs or the BUs. They got me fricked out.
Mom,
I
you
can't
still with
turn-
me? Love you.
Yeah, the bitter units aren't shown on here, but it's not really a very bitter beer. It's pretty
Does
smooth.
Budweiser have a BPU?
Now, what is it? So we got the ABV, which is the alcohol by volume,
I'm never going to remember.
and then the
this.
bitter units, international bitter units. So it's IBUs. Is what tells you kind of the bitter factor. You want to put that up? What? Sounds super delicious.
Oh yeah, I remember
Yes.
the Atomic Pumpkin.
Yeah, we introduced her to that one. That's Rebecca, from Cattle
Yeah.
Farm. Yeah.
I miss you, Rebecca.
Yeah, she partied with us, and if you watched our, it was our last episode we did live. We did the airplanes.
Oh yeah,
Rebecca?
she was with the airplanes, and we did.
Yeah, she was with us on that one, in a different place. I mean, we were in different areas of that boneyard.
and then we did the Apache Junction hitching post.
Yes, hitching post
That
was
was
awesome.
amazing. Have we put that on yet?
Well,
Have we?
yeah, we do have that on Truth About Beer. Yeah,
We're gonna have to
yeah, we turned her into an addict.
release that episode.
Yeah. But the thing about Christine, you looked it up for us. It has IBU
You
of
have
20.
Wow,
Wow, so-
that's impressive.
Yeah, you people that have that Google machine and know how to use it.
So what are
It's
the
amazing.
7 HGs on it? No, I don't.
That's
That's not a thing.
Yeah,
I see
I don't
7. I see 12.
Romper Stomper.
That's pretty
Bumper.
impressive that you could do it that quick. But the Revolver, it's a guy. We were at a restaurant the other day called the Sticks Ice House, and there was a big
Thank you, Christine.
metal, like those old fashioned metal signs on the
Yeah.
wall, and it was the 2 revolvers.
Oh,
It
like
said
this?
Yeah, it was these.
Yeah. Okay.
And the guy must have been from Midland
yeah.
or Granbury.
Well, 20 IBU is basically water when it comes to bittering units. Just so you know. So this
You
is
sure that wasn't a Bud Light?
Bud Light's probably about that too. It's probably 18 to 20 or something.
All right.
Well, let's check. I happen to have a Bud Light bottle right here.
How can you still read at your age?
I don't know. I can't.
That's impressive.
4.2 ABV. This stuff is water. Oh, someone's going to Google it. Oh, excuse me. Now I'm belching it up.
So, oh, that was sweet.
Oh, so there you go, Rebecca. If you want to try it, they say you can order it online. You really do need to try this. It's really the only, no, there's actually two of them that I really like from Revolver. Don't do their blonde, whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a blonde beer.
Why?
I didn't like it at all. But they have one, if you like blueberry, they have a blueberry one that's really good.
I don't like
Revolver.
fruit in my beer other than lime.
Yeah. Well, my wife likes,
Grapefruit.
there was one out of Flagstaff that she really liked. And I can't think of the name of it now, but it was a blueberry, had a Volkswagen bus on the,
that was
can't think of the name
that
of it.
was pot beer.
Oh yeah, probably. But anyway, she did try the Revolver, their blueberry, and it was pretty good. So she did like it. But of all of the Revolver beers, I would recommend.
Yeah, these are really good.
Blood and
I'm a
Honey.
Bud guy, and I don't like IPAs and HCBs and all the TROPCG.
That does never get old.
I don't like all those things, but to tell you the truth,
Well, it's because when you start putting all those things, say those again, all those. Okay.
all the PBGs and RCLs and AMFs and the 8WHs. Yeah. I don't get into all those things, but this is really good. And I'm a Bud guy, and this is really good. Cheers.
All right. Well, I think we've gone off topic far enough and for long enough that perhaps we should let these people go.
Yes, please.
So that they
Especially
can-
the people from Iceland and Europe and Scotland.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for
Chris
joining us.
probably did go to bed. I don't blame him.
I don't blame them. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been fun. I can't wait to see you guys next time. And give us your thoughts, your ideas. Send us messages, subscribe, share. And we're going to have a lot of fun in the future. So can't wait for the next show.
And let's see, what am I going to do? Can I put this up and then do our outro, which we haven't, I got a new computer yesterday.
And he doesn't know how to use it.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
He's learning.
I've got to get it set up. That's all.
It's like the Chinese Bible, and we have no idea what all it can do.
This one in front of me is a 2013 MacBook Pro, which is really old, but it works great.
And special.
And now I have a brand new MacBook Pro that I'm really excited to start.
You're going to have to spend a lot of time with that.
Yeah, well, it'll be great. So let's see. Do I have what was I going to put up?
Renee, Shane, Mom, Katie, Caitlin, all those guys out there, love you. Thank you for watching.
We love y'all.
We love you, and we'll do a really cool show next week. Give us an input. Tell us what you want. Hey, Dirk, love you, man. Let's go hunting. Let's shoot some deer, man.
You act like that little girl that didn't get a deer.
Oh my God. Yeah. Did you see that? Did I? We have to.
Yeah,
post
you
that.
did share that with me.
We'll have to share that. But Dirk, man, we got to get together.
We'll have to tell you my deer hunting story. Never mind.
Next time.
Next time. That's not never mind, but next time. Until next time. This has been the truth about beer.
And Cactus 564 aliens. Love you guys.
I thought it was the case of AWA
564, 486,
whatever it takes.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
All right. Till next time.
Peace.
We love you guys.
Love you guys.
Welcome to the truth about beer.